Please join me for Ask the Good Doctor, live today and every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 noon Central Standard Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Bring your questions.
On my YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel. And please, if you could, subscribe to my YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. Yes. Ask the Good Doctor, LaJoyce Brookshire. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hello, good afternoon. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, and welcome to Ask the Good Doctor. I am here to help you attain, maintain, and reclaim your perfect health. Please join me on Twitter at Ask the Good Doc, on Instagram and Facebook at Ask the Good Doctor. You have already jumped into this conversation, which is why I'm doing the show today, just me and you. You all have been asking me so many amazing questions that I thought it was time that we get together and actually answer some of them in real time. And you can bring your questions right here too. Type it in the chat. Oh, I guess I need to get that on my screen. Type it in the chat and I will answer your questions. Thank you so much for being here. Grab your Good Doctor notebook. You really are not going to want to miss a moment of it. I want you right now, if you have never subscribed to this channel, to please do so right now. Click that subscribe button right down below. And also put a thumbs up, like it too, and talk to us in the chat. Talk back to us. We appreciate you. Well, there are so many stories these days circulating in the air that because the vaccination is here, that we now can relax some. While that may be true, I just want to say this. I want you to take every precaution, because it absolutely positively is not over. And the it I'm talking about is absolutely COVID, and you know it. I had Roxy ask me from Instagram, ask me, now that I have my vaccine, is it okay to go without a mask? Well, my darling, my answer to that is no. Because while the vaccine offers you some measure of protection, that you need to stay protected. Here's the thing. It will not prevent you from getting COVID. It will only diminish the symptoms. That is what you should know first and foremost. It will help you from not getting as sick. I also have something that will help you not get as sick. The same thing, and it is for people who are squeamish about receiving the vaccine and for people who may be squeamish about needles, period. And that would be garlic and beta carotene. We've talked about this before, garlic and beta carotene. Those are two things that absolutely will help diminish the symptoms and decrease the duration and the intensity of the virus, just like the vaccine. Now, I want to say this also about the vaccine. And I know a lot of you have a lot of questions about it. Just know this, I believe that whomever wants that vaccine, you should be able to get it. And if you feel very strongly that you need to get it, please, by all means, get the vaccine. Because when your heart is troubled, emotionally, we cannot withstand disappointments. We cannot withstand emotionally being told that we can't have something that we feel we deserve. That will make you sicker and weaken your immune system faster than COVID. So if you feel within your heart of hearts that you really feel that you feel led, your intuition is telling you to take the vaccine, you better go get it. And conversely, I hope that racial disparity is diminished in vaccine dissemination, because there are many people who are saying that they're told to go one place based on their social security number, and other people with other social security numbers are told to go somewhere else. Again, I say that the safest place to get a vaccination, which brings me to Tai Tai's question. I love my people, Tai Tai. I just love that. Tai Tai, also from Instagram, is saying, where is the best place to receive the vaccination? I strongly believe that you should get a vaccination in your doctor's office. I really do. And or some of these places where they have the mass centers set up with people who are trained to notice if anything is wrong. That's the greatest issue. They have an eye for noticing if something's wrong. If you just run down to your local grocery store or down to your local CVS, I'm not saying they're not trained. Do not leave here saying that that's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I know they have a class for a couple of days. That's not what I mean. I mean people who are accustomed to having a trained eye to watch out for the fact that your eye may be moving fast like this, or your eye may cross a little bit, that you don't look the same as you did when you walked in. And only a trained professional can take notice of that. And what better trained professional to take notice of that than your own personal doctor's office, where the people know you and they know, you know what, Miss Jones, her face wasn't twisted like that when she came in here. All right. Somebody else who doesn't know you may miss it. We can't take anything to chance. Let's not miss it. Let's not miss anything. I want you to be able to have a great deal of comfort about whichever decision you're making. I'm comfortable in my decision. I'm comfortable in my decision that I'm not taking the vaccine because I feel that my immune system is healthy enough to be able to ward off anything that's necessary. But I've been at this a long time. I've been at ensuring that my health and wellness and my well-being is shored up. I've been at it for a long time, and rarely do I cheat. Rarely do I cheat. I cheat every occasionally. Yes, I do. But I am mostly on the straight and narrow. And I'm trying to get up here so that I can make sure that I'm answering your questions, but I'm not logged in here correctly. Okay, so it'll take a minute for me to do that and look at your questions, but I'll answer the ones that I do have. So I hope, Tai Tai, that answers your question. Get a vaccination in your doctor's office. If you don't have a personal doctor where you can get a vaccination, please go to a center where there are many trained professionals who can keep an eye out for you and on you. And while they're asking you to sit around for 15 minutes to make sure you don't have any reaction, I say sit around for 30 minutes. What could it hurt to sit around an extra 15 minutes to just ensure that you are like okay? Now back to Roxy with the masks. We're not getting rid of any masks, y'all. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I have a study for you here that says even though people are getting vaccinated, it's a really good thing. Thank you, Craig, for your comment that you once got the flu shot years ago from a non-medical community center and it was a disaster. Aha. And we also had the nurse on here. The nurse, nurse practitioner Tamika, she said that she got a vaccination, a flu vaccination at her local pharmacy on a Saturday, and she spent a year in rehab because her arm, the shot was put in the wrong place. Just saying, okay, just doctor's office, please. All right, back to what I was saying about not getting rid of your masks. While even though people are vaccinated, I saw a report that said the other day, and I don't really know who stated this, but they said that if you are vaccinated and your group of friends are vaccinated, you should feel comfortable not to wear your masks around them. And I thought, oh my goodness, what in the world? Because we do know that vaccinated people can still get the virus. Yes, absolutely. You should know that if you haven't heard that before. In fact, my mother lives in a senior building in Chicago, and we get the newsletter every single week. And of course, during this COVID season, it has been filled with information about COVID, how many people have tested and how many people are positive or negative. Well, they had 3 staff members who were fully vaccinated with both dosages. And they have those 3 people, 3 of those staff members who were fully vaccinated, have contracted COVID. Now the whole building's on quarantine again because, of course, they were very active staff members within the building. So now the whole building is on lockdown. So I said all that to say, do not get rid of your mask. Stay vigilant in this fight. We must. And I hate to say fight because we never really win anything that we war against. However, I think that we have to be steadfast in what it is we are, in what we are combating, and to understand the strength of what we are combating. And there are a lot of people who don't even think that COVID is real. There are a lot of people. I'm not one of them because I know too many nurses. Yeah, I know too many people who watch their mama and daddy die on FaceTime. And they say that a lot of times it's a really bad cold gone awry, or it's a really bad flu gone awry. I think it's a combination of them both. It's a collision of the two of them. Remember my presentation when the flu and COVID collide? And I think it's a really big, radical, terrible intersection of the worst things that we've ever seen. That's what I think. And it's not going to go away overnight. It hasn't gone away overnight. We're more than a year plus into it. But we have to stay on top of things to ensure our safety. We can't reopen too soon. Every time we do it, we see these surges. And as we complete and round out the Holy Week, and as families may even take that advice to, we're going to gather because we're all vaccinated, be vigilant as you do. Okay? Be vigilant. Unmask only to eat. I was in a restaurant with my publisher the other day, and it's a nice, quiet place. Always quiet anyway. Delicious food. Pick your right time. You could be pretty much the only ones in there with the people, the staff eating the food, a Thai restaurant. And in came a group of 11 to have this celebration. None of them were masked. We signal our waiter, wrap this up, we're out. We put on our masks to protect ourselves from this group of 11 people who were not masked and hugging and talking loud and all of that. And it seems like the people who are not masked are always the ones speaking the loudest in the street. And if we haven't learned anything, we should have learned how the droplets travel, how they fly. The louder you speak, the louder you sing, the louder you laugh, the droplets travel. Oh, the inside of your mask gets wet. Those are the droplets. I'm telling you, with what we know now, I may never go back to not wearing one in public because I want to protect myself. All right. And I know that the inside of my mask gets wet, which is why I have a back box of show and tell for you today. I like to place one of these nice little tissues right on the inside of my mask. This is my Just Breathe Easy mask. Yeah. This is made by Dr. Sherilyn Lee. Just Breathe Easy. Y'all excuse my nails. Yeah, it's the COVID season. And nobody going up in those salons, but I did have to get my, thank you, Hair Tonic, for my hair. It's not time to be relaxed yet, but it needs to be relaxed. So I just avoid it, but the girl couldn't get the comb through my hair. All right, but I've combed my hair out in front of you all in real time, so you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so we didn't quite make it to the nail salon, but I do my own, but I didn't do it today. So anyway, but the Just Breathe Easy, right? This mask is 1 layer colloidal silver, 1 layer charcoal, and a filter layer on the front and on the back, made by Dr. Sherilyn Lee. IW, remind me to contact Dr. Sherilyn Lee so she can come on to the show. She created these masks about 10 years ago to combat against the forest fires. It's our favorite mask. So I lay one of those tissues on the inside of it. And the reason I'm looking for an open pack, because I usually always have an open pack near me. And I can't reach my tissues today. But this mask is great. And they're designed for single use, of course, with fires. But I wear another mask over this mask. Yes, I do. And because I want ultimate protection. Not only that, these are 3 for $25, but they're worth it. All right. And I wear this one close to my skin, and I put that layer of tissue right here on the inside. And I put it, and when my tissue gets wet, I discard it. Now, there's been this thing about wearing wet masks and how that could protect you even more. But you know what? I don't believe that. I don't believe that a wet mask could protect you more. I believe that actually a wet mask will attract and adhere more to a wet, that more droplets would adhere to a wet mask. So don't fall prey to things opening too soon. Still practice your distancing. If you're going to gather with a friend who you know is COVID free, gather with that friend safely, like my friend and I did, and choose a place that you know is not crowded. Choose a time of day that's not crowded. I don't feel the need to be around a lot of people. I never have really, actually. And I'm really a hermit. I've really come to understand even more about myself. But when we tell you, we're going to tell you more about. I thought that was my mother's doctor calling, and my mother's doctor is going to be calling. So I will be excusing myself in a little bit to bring you all a nice message. But what I wanted to say about being a hermit and about being isolated, I have come to not mind it as much. And I think that I much prefer it. Quite honestly, I'm just being honest. I mean, I think I quite prefer it. Not only for safety, but for sanity. For sanity. I like wearing my hair in two braids. I like wearing I call it Pocono grunge. That's what we call it when we live on dirt roads. And, you know, all you see is your neighbors and you go, howdy. You're like, hey, you know, you wave way across yonder at the neighbor over there and you scream up and down the dirt road. I like that living. I don't have a need to be around a lot of people. Never have, but now I really like, yeah, okay. But I'll take a group safely, like we're going to be in Vermont, yes, but caution about things that are happening too soon. And even in my own event with the Wellness Warriors Weekend Getaway, we're doing it very safely. We're doing it with very small numbers in a place that can hold a lot of people so that we can be safe and gather. And I know a lot of you are getting cabin fever right about now. I know a lot of people who are traveling and enjoying themselves and having fun. And if you feel like you really need a diagnostic, get tested for COVID just to be sure if you need to. But if you don't feel like you don't want to go out, but you under a great degree of certainty you probably have COVID, then stay in. Stay in and treat yourself. Garlic, beta carotene, okay? Colloidal silver, oil of oregano, hot lemon water with ginger and lime. All of that works. It works to really help you because the virus is not going away. 200 years ago, the common cold was very deadly. It killed millions of people. And every year when it went away and came back and went away and came back, it was less and less and less lethal. So I want you to know that COVID is another type of a coronavirus like the common cold. But COVID is amped up on steroids because it attacks the lungs. Yeah, it attacks the lungs. And one of the things that you should know that there are a lot of symptoms that are linked to COVID, and you know what they are. Hold on. By the way, stay hydrated. Stay hydrated. Keep your membranes moistened. Don't let your mouth get dry. Don't get thirsty. If you are thirsty, you are already dehydrated. Continue to rinse away. You don't want your nose to be terribly dry. Not at all. That's why one of the symptoms of COVID is that dry cough that does not produce phlegm. If you cough and you produce phlegm, you're in good shape. But if you got that dry, hacking, nagging cough that, oh my gosh, that hurts when you cough, that you're coughing so much, that beware, beware. You probably, with a great degree of certainty, that's the COVID cough. All right. And now, if you also have the loss of taste, the loss of smell, guaranteed you probably have COVID. Why do we lose our sense of smell? Because enters through the nasal passages, gets in there and lodges here. All right. The nasal passage is about 91 degrees. Gets in the mouth, lodges in the throat, into the sore throat. The throat is about 92 degrees. Cool enough to hang around, but not hot enough to destroy it. And then as it filters down, then it attaches itself to the lung, and that's where all havoc is wreaked. So be mindful. Again, be vigilant. And if you have a cough long enough, though, and it's not COVID related, go see your doctor. Because one thing that you should know is that tuberculosis is still rampant in the US. People still get TB. We've been talking about COVID and COVID and COVID so much, but people still get TB. And you have to protect yourself against that as well. You also know that, well, you should also know that researchers say that one main reason for the diagnostic may be because a lack of awareness with clinicians, because TB is, people don't think to check for it anymore. Unless they ask you if you're living in tight quarters or if you work somewhere in tight quarters, but none of us should be in tight quarters these days, okay? Why does the virus affect us differently? The Real Level Up says. The virus affects us differently. Everybody, because everyone is different. Everyone is different, and it will go to the weakest spot. That's what happens. It will go to the weakest place. And you want to, that gives me, Pamela asks, what did Pamela say from Facebook? Pamela said, why aren't we talking more about comorbidities? I agree with Pamela. Thank you for that, Pamela. Because the comorbidities are the things that we need to pay attention to make sure that our immunity is strong, so that when something blows our way like a COVID, we won't crumble like a paper doll house. That's why we need to pay attention to comorbidities. So I say, let's get at that kidney. Let's get at kidney disease. Let's get at your high blood pressure. Take you behind the bed. Stop staying up all night. All right? Please go to bed. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Let's get at your heart disease. Let's get at your chronic constipation. Let's do it now, because COVID is not the last thing that's going to come, y'all. You need to know. And if you read your Bible or your Quran or whatever your holy book is, they talk about the plagues. And let's just call a thing a thing. COVID is a plague. Know it. Believe it. Or you don't have to believe it. But just know it, and know it won't be the last thing. It's not the last thing to come along. Now, it caught a lot of people unaware when it first swooped in here last February 2020. But oh my goodness, now that we know it's here, and now that we know it won't be the last thing, whether you believe me or not, it won't be the last thing. And so whether you know that or not, know this. Get yourself together. We got caught unaware last time. Don't get caught unaware again. Like I've said before, if you get caught with no toilet paper this time around, if we go back on quarantine, that's on you. That's on you. If you get caught with not enough food in your cabinet, that's on you. Same way, if you get caught unhealthy for the next plague that rolls in here, that's on you. We bring you information to help you attain your perfect health. The only thing we want to be on you is perfect health. That's all we want on you. We don't want anything, any pestilence, any plague to come upon you, to come nigh your dwelling, as it says in the Bible. We don't want any of those things to come near you. So Curley and Johnson said there is a move for mandatory vaccination, particularly in the diversified office population. What's your take on this? Well, mandatory vaccination. I am not for it, because I believe that we have rights. And I don't think that we should have our rights violated in that way. Now, there are enough people, I believe, who want the vaccination. Let them get it and leave the people who don't want the vaccination alone. Just saying. Leave the people who don't want it alone and stop trying to make it mandatory. For what reason? For what reason? So you can have control? What's the reason? So you can think that people are all safe? That can't be the reason. We already know it doesn't prevent you from getting COVID. Then what's the point? So, Curlian, to answer your question, I am not for mandatory vaccination. I don't like the idea of it. Okay? All right. That's my thought. Sparkle said, how can teachers who don't want the vaccine protect themselves? Well, I'm a teacher too. I'm a professor. I can protect myself in several ways. I can wear a mask. I also have a face shield. I love this one. It's so cool, right? Isn't that cool? It's hard. It's like a tortoise shell. And it is very, very sturdy. Here's what's crazy about it. When I wear this face shield without my mask, the inside gets loaded with droplets. I don't even know if you can see them in there. Okay. Gets loaded with droplets. And it washes well with just soap and water or just alcohol. Use your sanitizer, clean it. All right. That's how I protect myself. Also, I'm going to get a desk shield, Sparkle. Yeah, I'm getting a desk shield. Now, they haven't told us if we're coming back to the classroom full time. I voted to come to the classroom to come to the classroom on a part-time basis for lectures and for the final. That's what I chose because we had to choose. We had 5 things that we had to choose from, and we had to put them in order. So my last choice was totally viral. I don't think that we need to be totally viral. My first choice was part-time in the room, lectures, and the final, and maybe some tests. But since I teach speech, the speeches are the tests. Okay, so I would be in the classroom all the time because you can't do all the speeches for all the students every day in one day. So they could go over 2 weeks or 4 weeks, depending on what kind of speech we're giving. So that was my vote. All right, so that's how I protect myself. Demi says, oh, what are enzymes? And do we need to take them every day? And how much and how often? Good one, Demi. Well, we all need digestive enzymes. And why do we need digestive enzymes? Because if you're like me, over 40, you no longer make any more enzymes. And you have this little bank. And whatever you have in your bank, that is what you have by the time that you are 40 years old. And so if you do things like chew gum, you're wasting your enzymes because your stomach is waiting to receive food. And if you're chewing gum, you're calling up your saliva and never sending down the food. You're never sending it down. So you're wasting, just wasting. So I suggest not to chew gum. Not only that, but most gums contain fake sugar, some of the aspartames and all of the other things that they have in chewing gum. All gum turns out to be sugar-free these days. So the digestive enzymes are good to help you digest your food because undigested food settles in the colon and then floats out and floats all over the body. And then that is how autoimmune diseases are set up. That is where they come from. Undigested food going to different places. So digestive enzymes become a staple for your everyday health, for your longevity, because not only are you what you eat, but you are what you digest. And if you don't digest anything, you cannot eliminate it. Because you cannot eliminate undigested food. Okay, thank you. Pamela Crockett is asking, she says, so good afternoon, Pamela. So glad you're here too. Honored to have you here. Do you think another quarantine is inevitable? I think another quarantine is necessary. Here's my take. And you all vote for me for Surgeon General one day, okay? This is just my thinking. We could get rid of this virus. So it has a 14-day incubation period when you are undetectable. If we quarantine for a full 21 to 30 days, then everyone is home. And so if you are infected, you are home, you are quarantined, you're not out and about, and the need for contact tracing would be zero because you would be at home. All right? Once the contact tracers discover that you have been here, there, and everywhere, and that you are infected, now we know why there is high infection rate, because people who are unaware that they are affected are here, there, and everywhere. Lock down everyone, I say, for 30 days, and we're done with this. People who are infected are at home. They haven't been around spreading the virus anywhere. End of story. End of story. But people are so hung up on their rights. The weather is warming up. It is going to be more difficult to contain people in warmer weather. And so I don't think that they'll do it, but I wish that they would. So not only do I think that it's inevitable, Pamela, I think another quarantine is necessary, and it needs to have a timestamp on it. Look, Malaysia got rid of COVID. Yes, they did. You know how they did it? They imposed a 60-day quarantine. You could only go out once a week based on the letter of your last name, your first letter of your last name. You had days when you could go out, and you had times when you could be out during a certain time frame. And I think that that was brilliant. Why don't we follow what other countries have implemented successfully? Why don't we do that? I think that's more smart. And other countries, I believe, are looking at the United States, shaking their heads, going, why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? But Malaysia is not worried about it any longer. They have conquered it. So I'm hopeful that we will do that. It would be a help to us all if we came to that understanding. Finally, I hope so. All right. I know Pamela said it's not. Yes, it's what they could exclude you from. Okay. Let's see. Sparkle says garlic, oregano, lemon, honey, cinnamon, turmeric, and hot water is good. Yes, it is. It's a really, really, really good tonic or tea. That's a good homemade tea. Listen, that oil of oregano is absolutely no joke. It is antiviral, antibacterial, antiparasitic. And Craig Cobb says there are also variants. There are variants of the virus. And here's the thing. They're already talking about the booster shots that you're going to need to get if you have the vaccine. Booster shots. So they're also telling us now also to get a booster shot for our childhood vaccines. That's what they're saying, to get booster shots for your childhood vaccines. Listen, you all take care of yourselves. Again, take care of yourselves. And again, if the vaccine is something that you think you want, go get it. Go get it and do it with a clear conscience. But I don't think it'll serve any of us if we have to do it forcibly. I don't think so. That's what I don't think. All right. Carl wants to know, is it okay to sleep with the phone in his room? I do not agree with that, Carl. You should not sleep with your phone in your room, and your bedroom should be a no phone zone. It impedes your sleep. You know, it's bad enough that we have had a problem recently with the time springing ahead. Talk about interrupting our sleep patterns. Talk about interrupting the circadian clock. Talk about man wanting to be in control. That is just the worst thing that has ever happened. Daylight savings time for what? If you just let nature take its course, it will stay lighter longer all by itself. Who needs it to be daylight until 9 o'clock in the middle of the summer? What? Why do we even need to do that? We need to power down. And this is why people have high blood pressure. And it's called chronic high blood pressure. The people who, no matter what they do, they can't get their blood pressure down because they won't rest. And there are so many things that are impeding our rest today, so many things that are vying for our attention. Listen, if we do not pay more attention to what this temple needs, then we're going to run right into the path of destruction. All right? Stop what you're doing, turn around and walk in the other direction. Charge that phone somewhere else. Create a charging station somewhere else in your home other than your bedroom. Turn off the phone at night. The more things that the phone can do, the more powerful it is. The more EMFs it is emanating, electromagnetic fields. And if you don't have some of this jewelry, yes, the interchangeable jewelry from magnitudejewelry.com, I'll put that in the bottom, and the bracelet, okay? Because I'm in front of all of these devices, the earrings, all of these with my interchangeable. I could take these in, I could take these out. My interchangeable, this is protect. It's not a little cute little jewelry, and I like the little cross, but this has magnetics on the back. It has a infrared, germanium, and a negative ion on the back, which gives me a force field of protection. All right. Now, I don't wear it to bed. Some people do, but some people sleep with their devices on. I'm glad you asked this question because I'm adamant about my sleep. Everybody who knows me personally has a picture of me somewhere sleeping, especially if it's at night. Anytime after 10 o'clock, lights out, lights out. We have found that there's a research organization called Common Sense found that 62% of parents keep their mobile devices within reach at night. 68% of teenagers reported they keep their phones within reach at night. And nearly a third of 29% of teenagers sleep with their cell phones, smart tablets, or smartphones. That is ridiculous. It's a terrible statistic. The more things that this can do, the worse it is for us. If you are not protecting yourselves, it's like this cord. All right. This is the best example I can give you, Carl. This cord, underneath this plastic coating of this cord are wires. And what is happening when you expose yourself too much to EMFs, electromagnetic fields, it starts to eat away at this wire and expose the cords on the inside. So it's like a constant drip, drip, drip on something that eventually erodes. That is what happens internally. And you look up and don't understand why your nervous system is challenged. You look up and you don't understand how negative things happen to you. And keeping on the light of your cell phone or the light of your television, it doesn't make you sleepy. It actually helps keep you awake. And even though your eyes are closed, you're not getting the rest that you need. So if you're not getting the rest, that means your heart is not resting. That means that you're not powering down as you should. Do this experiment with me. Close your eyes and wave your hand in front like this. All right? You can still see the flick, 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 even with your eyes closed. That's the television on. That's the phone going off at night. Even if you have it on vibrate or airplane mode. I know that people have gotten rid of the house phone. And we will tell you more on the other side of this break. Don't go away. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, and we'll be back after this. We have the power to heal. Amen. Our bodies have the power to do exactly what it was created to do. All we have to do is give it what Hi there. Thank you for joining me. I am at the Essex Culinary Resort and Spa, and I am in a therapy room where you can come and get pampered and get hands laid on you. I had the most amazing massage the other day. It was just totally awesome. Listen, they curate all kinds of things special just for you. Peppermint, hot stone, maple syrup. We are in the land of maple syrup. So won't you join us for the Wellness Warriors Weekend Getaway, June 2021. I'll be here. I want you to be here too. Don't miss it. Oh, these are all of the beautiful things on the ceiling at the formal restaurant at the Junction at the Essex Culinary Resort and Spa. Right here, this is the chef's table where you can sit and have an incredible meal. I am here to tell you that the Essex Culinary Resort and Spa has the most amazing restaurants. The food is farm to table and it is fabulous. So join us for the Wellness Warriors Weekend Getaway in June 2021. Hi there, we are at the outdoor pool at the Essex. Look at this wonderful waterfall. You stand under this and this is like, oh my gosh, it's exfoliating. Wonderful. What a beautiful poolside to sit at the Essex Culinary Resort and Spa. Don't miss it. We'll be here for the Wellness Warriors Weekend Getaway, June 2021. I'll be here. Join me. Hi there. Welcome back to Ask the Good Doctor. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, and we are almost sold out of the Wellness Warriors Weekend Getaway. So if you thought you were going to come on. Only a few rooms left. This probably be the last time I'm talking about it today. But those of you who are going to come, you're in for a treat. Can't wait to see you. All right. As we were talking about sleep, so important. Listen, prior to powering down your phone, it's best to power down your phone about 2 hours before you go to sleep. If you can't do that, these are my blue blocking glasses. You put these on while you're working or looking at your screen or watching my YouTube channel. You do that. You put them on for about 2 hours before you go to sleep. Listen, this is better than melatonin to me. Okay. And I think that these are a powerful tool in your toolbox to help you get to sleep. So Carl, thank you for your question. I see Cheryl is asking how to combat naturally her high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. Cheryl, you have the trifecta. First of all, I'm going to suggest that you get an appointment from the Good Doctor, offering a spring special for all of you who need a little bit more help with not just one, but three things. The first thing I would suggest, Cheryl, for high blood pressure is go to bed at night. You're defying nature by staying up all night. And I'm making an assumption that you may stay up all night. Again, as I was saying about staying up all night in the sleep, the body can't rest. The heart can't rest. If the heart cannot rest, you're cutting off years of your life. You're cutting off life from your years. So power it down. You only have so many beats. Staying up so many hours and not getting any rest, it's like those digestive enzymes, you're wasting them. This is how you repair with the moon, not just sleeping during the day, sleeping with the moon to attain the healing from the moon. Diabetes, knock off of those starches, knock off of the things that are acidic that you're eating and make your body more alkaline. And that should just about take care of it. But we could do an analysis, Cheryl. So email me at drbrookshire@outlook.com. That's drbrookshire@outlook.com. And I'll be glad to help you get hold of those things. Okay. And I have a really good success record in helping people too. You get a client and decide that you're going to do it. All right. Sometimes we don't want to let go of our bad habits. Sometimes our bad habits don't like us. And even though we may like them, I like chocolate. It doesn't like me. That's the thing that sends me into a hot flash. You can forget it. I'm not doing it. Okay. Especially some cheap chocolate, like a Reese's. Like, oh my gosh. Right. Like right now, those Reese's peanut butter eggs, Easter eggs. I tell myself no, because I hate how it makes me feel, but I love how it tastes. And let me tell you, I like feeling better than how good it tastes. I'll make myself some homemade banana ice cream with some cacao chips in them. 86% dark chocolate. All right. It's really good. All right. Who else do we have asking us a question? I saw a question from Gwen Kane. Hey, where can you get the jewelry? You can get, okay. And she's interested in coming to the weekend. Email me, Gwen Kane. Gwen Kane, that's my college roommate. Hey, Gwen. Not my college roommate, my New York City roommate. Hi, Gwen. All right. I almost didn't recognize that name there. But Gwen, send me an email, drbrookshire@outlook.com, and I'll put the magnitude jewelry in the chat. I want to thank you all for being here. I really do. All right. Who else do we have asking a question? I saw somebody say, well, let me finish asking the questions that I already had. We have one thing that you should know. This is totally crazy. The sale of unhealthy foods is up. Oh, Cheryl says she has insomnia. Cheryl, I know why you have insomnia. We could talk personally about that. We'll talk about why you might have insomnia. Contact me at drbrookshire@outlook.com. But it's easy to get rid of insomnia as well. One of the things is that some blue blocker lights, it really does help you sleep. I'm telling you, it makes you so drowsy and so sleepy. But Americans have had bad eating habits for decades, but now the pandemic has reversed this progress. And these studies report foods like macaroni and cheese, boxed macaroni and cheese. Now, come on, we're about to have our holiest of holy days with Resurrection Sunday coming up. And I know a lot of you may be having macaroni and cheese, but I don't know, and many of you are having boxed macaroni and cheese. But need to get my cookbook, okay? Kitchen Warriors 101, Homemade Healthy. Get off that boxed macaroni and cheese. Canned soups, potato chips, they have made a comeback in the lockdown. Why is this though? And I'm laughing, but it's not funny. I'm making light of it, but it's really a heavy topic. And people, these comfort foods, that's what they are. They're comfort foods. And people have we have satiated ourselves with good comfort foods during the pandemic. And it hasn't been good. I put on pounds. I satiated myself with good, healthy food, but just a whole lot of it. Okay, as well. My daughter got into channeling her inner Betty Crocker, wake up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom and you smell something baking. Like, oh my gosh, this chick is up baking. It's the middle of the night. Anyway, so we had to break her of the habit because it's like, oh my gosh, what is that? You should stop doing that. Okay, give me some. So that's how it happens. But people have satiated themselves. And according to the latest data from large grocery stores, one category of processed food, which has undergone an astronomical rise in popularity the last year, is deli meat. Deli meat, which is really sad because all of that deli meat contains the nitrites and the nitrates, has all that slimy feel to it, unless you buy the organic deli meat that's prepackaged already. And Applegate Farms sells a really good one. I love their brand. And it's increased because people have found themselves home and needing to eat. And now the rubber has met the road where people have not learned how to care for themselves as well and not cooking and not investing in learning how to cook. And my mother said that if you could read, you could cook. My mother became an excellent cook by just reading cookbooks because she was the youngest in the family and she didn't have to cook and she was in a family of chefs. So she was intimidated, first of all. And then when she got married, she didn't know how to cook. So she read and cooked. If you can read, you can cook. You can grab my cookbook. Do I have one handy? No. Ask the Kitchen Warriors 101, Homemade Healthy. You can get it at Amazon.com. We want you to lay off of those unhealthy foods. Those are the bastions of our health, right? Cook yourself a good meal. Eat vegetables every single day. Make your internal body, your internal flora, green, healthy, flourishing, like the Garden of Eden. Make your plate colorful. I always say that I want to see that little woman who washes her hands and sings the happy birthday song. I want to see her leave the bathroom, go to the kitchen and make a nice plate with her family because that strengthens the immune system too, the togetherness. All right. So We need to do that. How can you invite people? How can you invite people, Pam, to the Wellness Warriors? I'm thinking you're saying that. Okay. Craig says, turn off the phone at night, charge it elsewhere than my bedroom. Some of the best advice you've given me. Oh, you're welcome, Craig. Absolutely. And I saw another, thanks for being here. Oh, okay. Let's see who else has a comment. What is your thought on Chef Babette Davis recipes? Is it healthy? I don't know who Chef Babette is. I'm sorry to say. Please forgive me. I don't know who Chef Babette is. But I will tell you this, that it needs to be green. It needs to be vegetables and, clean protein. I myself, I'm not a vegan, but I'm not a vegetarian, but I have vegetarian ways. And I always say that a lot of the vegans who come to see me, they're in the worst shape because they're sticking with their story of being vegan and they're not eating any vegetables. I am always so amazed that they are not eating any vegetables. Please eat vegetables. That's what we want you to do. That's what vegan derives from the word vegetable. Okay? Because Coca-Cola over some cornflakes is a vegan meal. With all that fake meat, those fake eggs, all that stuff, you're shredding your intestines doing all of those things. So eat vegetables. So eat clean protein. I like clean protein. I eat organic chicken, only wild caught fish, and a whole bunch of vegetables, minimal on the grain, basmati rice, quinoa. That's about it. And lots of sweet potatoes, cooked all kinds of ways. Just love a sweet potato. All right. And she made, okay, so you say Chef Babette made 70 cookbook. Okay. And she owns vegan restaurants too. Okay, good. Well, I hope that is healthy. I hope that it's healthy. And if she's using vegetables, then it would be. So, but I can't really comment about Chef Babette because I don't know what that is. All right. And what can you do? Blake is asking, vanity question. He said, is there anything you can do other than eliminate stress to slow down gray hair growth? Oh, yeah. That is a copper deficiency. And he said, I look fabulous. Oh, thank you, Blake. That is a copper deficiency. Graying, especially premature gray hair, that is a copper deficiency. And most people who don't eat eggs may find themselves with graying prematurely. That's one thing. I don't know if you eat eggs or not, Blake, but that may be one thing that you could put in a diet. Let me just say this about eggs. I think egg is the perfect food, especially vegetarians. Vegetarians don't mind egg, but vegans, no eggs, no honey. Okay, all right. But don't buy the stuff in the carton that says it's an egg. Because if you read those ingredients, you cannot pronounce those words. Do not eat what you cannot pronounce. All right. So eat your egg, clean egg, organic egg, please. Please. You will see the difference in the yolk. It's a dark, almost orange in color when you have a good, clean egg, a nice, robust egg. It's brain food. It's hair food too, by the way. All right. All righty, you guys. And is black rice good for you? I love black rice. Black rice is great. And just as long as you rinse it first, because it could be very tacky, it could be very sticky. I rinse all my rice first, actually, to rinse off some of the starches. But I think that black rice is good. And it's not white rice. Stay away from all of the white stuff. And the young lady who asked me earlier, Cheryl, stay away from all of the whites, white rice, white bread, white flour. Stay away from all of that. And the diabetes should turn around because that makes the body acid as well. Listen, I want to thank you all for being here today. I love it when it's just me and you. Continue to send me your questions. Oh, Demi asked me about cod liver oil before we go. How much cod liver oil should you take? That's so old school. I love that question to me. I love my cod liver oil. I take my cod liver oil year round. And I like to just take a tablespoon of it. That's what I do. And it keeps the joints. It's I like the concept of the slide some oil into me. The Tin Man, slide some oil into. I love that concept. That's what it feels like to me when I'm having my cod liver oil. It also boosts the immune system. So your grandmama and them were right. When they gave you that cod liver oil, we could not have dessert until we took our cod liver oil, period. And I had a woman tell me one time that they had 5 children in the family, and there was one sister who refused to take the cod liver oil, and she, over her lifetime, is the sickest out of those children in their adulthood, that she would not take the cod liver oil. So there's something to be said for the cod liver oil. And I say that a tablespoon a day is good. Some people like to take fish oil in the summer and cod liver oil in the winter, but I take cod liver oil year round. I don't take it every day in the summer because I'm getting more sun, absolutely. But I absolutely do take my cod liver oil regularly. I hope that answers your questions. I hope that I got to all of your questions. Thank you so much for being here. Keep sending them. We'll save them for the next time we do one of these sessions. Maybe I'll come at you like this once a month. We'll see. But I want to thank you for being here. And I want to thank my team, my W supervising producer, and Christopher Green, technical producer, Indy, DJ Indy, announcer, and Black Tea moderator. And remember always to let your eyes shine, cut back on the wine, get good to it fast, and go easy on the greasy. I'm Dr. LaJoyce Brookshire, here to help you attain and maintain your perfect health. Let's do it again next week, okay? God bless you.